So what if it all goes to shit? I guess, what does that even mean? I guess, what it means for me is, what if we get to a point where we just completely, are freaking out, and and that can happen, especially if you're new to this sort of world and it's the beginning, and it's something different. I guess, the most important thing to remember is all those fears that are coming up are all again inside of here, and the whole reason you're here is to clear that stuff out. So it's coming up as what we want, even though at the time of it, many times I've thought, why did I do that? But anyway, I've always popped out the other side. It doesn't matter how challenging ceremony's been, I've always popped out the other side, and it always felt so much better the next day, and permanent changes, So yeah, now this, plant medicines are, there's lots of modalities out there. As I mentioned in I think a previous video, I don't really see any real difference between, say, counselling and plant medicines, apart from just the way they go about doing their process. Ultimately it's the same. It's about reconnecting, clearing stuff out, and reconnecting to our emotional and spiritual bodies and things like this. And so plant medicines just happen to do it in a very, I guess, I don't really want to use the word powerful, but in a way that engages all our senses, and so it's not a way that we're kind of used to, and so it takes us a little while to navigate. We do have the capacity to do this. My ceremonies are very, very different now, and certainly I think I again mentioned it before is that I've gone through stages where I've thought I've conquered this thing, I know how to do it, and so now I really can sort of let go and just go with the flow, and not have any expectations at all. So yeah, it's yeah. So if you do find yourself, the other thing too is, our egos are going to fight. Our egos pop out of our beliefs, and so there's going to be this sort of sort of potential holding on that can happen as well. But it was just my experience, and it might not be the same for you. And again, it's just about letting go, and and as I mentioned, I had a very conversation with my mind one day, and we came to terms, we came to a sort of an agreement, and things have been really lovely since then. So again, use your tools. Ground yourself. If you've got some good tools for ground yourself, I've got a really lovely meditation where I close my eyes, have my feet on the ground, hands on the ground if I can, and I imagine the energy from my feet running, going through the the crust of the earth, down through the core, down to the core, and connecting into the core. And then as I breathe in, I imagine that I'm breathing up the energy, the new energy of Pachamama, up through my legs, and I breathe right up to my crown. And then when I breathe out, imagine that energy coming back out down my arms, and then back down to the center again and around, and just do that 2 or 3 times, and I find that grounds me very quickly. So just techniques like that, ideas like that, that can be very, very useful. And the other techniques we talked about for learning, for for working with your energy and things. And don't get too, I know I'm talking about different techniques and tools and things, and please don't get too overwhelmed with that, or stuck on that. But just if you've got a good tool for grounding yourself, and a good tool for letting go, clearing your energy, could be meditation or whatever, then that's it, But, and again, if you've got no tools, that's fine as well. This is just all about things that could potentially, help you. And some of these tools might not help you at all. There's just things that have helped me. So please don't get too, too hung up on them. It's just a guide for you. One thing that I've done in ceremonies when I've, really sort of feel like I'm losing myself a bit, or, losing, is I just open my eyes up. So, that's always a good one. It's generally dark, but you can see something, and that kind of is one thing that I've done a lot in the past, to sort of ground myself back in again, to back down to back to this sort of physical dimension, if you like. And again, as I mentioned before, very importantly, call out for help from the shaman. Can have her to come over and help you through whatever you're going through. Again, I encourage you to go as far as you can on your own. Obviously don't torture yourself, but this is learning. We're learning to work with new energies, with new feelings and things, and we're so used to running the other way, and some of the stuff we're going to feel potentially is going to be very, very strong, but if we can just sort of allow ourselves to feel into it, and then obviously, the more it can shift, and the medicines are there to help us as well. So, yeah, and look, I suppose in summary, just, I know, kind of easy to say, but just, in the back of your mind, just don't panic. I mean, there's all this stuff going on, but see if you can just, there'll be a part of you that will just be aware of all of this, and can see it, and it will finish, you will get through it, and it may not feel like that at the time sometimes, but you will get through it, and you may not experience any of this stuff at all. So, this is really, if you do get into this place, there's some things to do. If you don't, you don't. Great. There's no right or wrong about this. It's just everything is as it is, and it's all meant to be. So, all right. Thank you.